Hello again. I just want to make a short video to really emphasize a point. How does a government increase its power when it's limited by a constitutional charter that was its incorporating document? Like the U.S. The U.S. Constitution listed out enumerated powers, and that's all that it was given. Now, it was given some very powerful powers, like in Article 1, Section 8, where Congress is given pretty much exclusive, plenary, absolute power over interstate and foreign commerce. And that gave it absolute power over commercial law, like Admiralty Maritime. That's a huge amount of power. But it's still a limiting document. So the way to go about increasing its power was designed in the document itself through constitutional amendment. But that's a very difficult, time-consuming, expensive, and long process. How would the government go about circumventing the Constitution constitutionally, so to speak? Again, how do you constitutionally circumvent the limitations in the Constitution so that you can increase your power without going through the long process of amendment or going through the process of conquest, which doesn't work very well and again is very expensive. We've mentioned this before. It's consent. As Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence, all governments get their power by the consent of the governed. And this falls back on your absolute right to contract, whether you're a man in your natural capacity in the state of nature under natural law, common law, or if you're, as a person, a legal fiction operating in the civil law and commercial law. Both man and person have the absolute power of contract. And we're going to get more into that as we go along in this playlist. But I just wanted to point out to you that that's exactly how the government has done this. And if you've watched all the videos in this playlist, you'll see that just about everything that is causing you to be bound to the government in ways that you don't like were done by you, not the government. The government just extends an offer. Hey, do you want to participate in a Social Security Ponzi tontine scheme where it's a tax, but we're going to make you believe that it's some sort of retirement benefit program, which it is. There's welfare aspects to the Social Security, but there's no property right in Social Security. It's not yours. It's a tax. And Congress doesn't have to give you that payout. It can change the Social Security Act at any time. And that's all voluntary. And I wanted to start off this video planting the seed that the beginning of this, the foundation of this, voluntary bond servitude that you're in was with Reconstruction and the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment is a wicked, wicked amendment. But it's been sold to you as being a good thing. Oh, we're going to nationalize citizenship. Okay, but the 14th Amendment is what gives corporations civil rights and protects corporations, artificial U.S. persons, right? And they sold it to you. Well, we got to give the freed slaves a civil status. Ouch. If most of the freed slaves and the slaves that were free before without a civil status were under natural and common law, and they were a lot freer than most of the whites in that situation. Now, I'm not talking about the slaves. I'm talking about the free blacks who didn't have a civil status as a person. They were much freer than most of the white people, even though before the Civil War there was still a lot of common law allodial freemen. They had nexuses with the state, which bound them up. So I thought I'd share this quote with you from John Rarick, U.S. Congressman from Louisiana, 1967 through 75. He did this on the House Congressional Record on June 13, 1967. We have tolerantly permitted the habitual misuse of words to serve as a vehicle to abandon our foundations and goals. Thus, the present use and expansion of the 14th Amendment is a sham, serving as a crutch and hoodwink to precipitate a quasi-legal approach for the overthrow of the tender balances and protections of the limitations found in the Constitution. So how do we how do we get around the Constitution's limitations? We get you to contract and consent voluntarily. And now we can rule over you however we want under our plenary and exclusive power of statutory civil law through contract. So, your driver's license binds you to the state and federal motor vehicle codes, as a 14th Amendment citizen. So those are the terms and conditions of the contract, the motor vehicle code. Your marriage license binds you to all the family law, marriage law, child protective services laws of the state. There's the terms and conditions of the contract. All those civil laws that deal with family law, child education, divorce, all that. Okay? And you do this over and over and over and over and over again. And you're in nothing but a Gordian knot of your own making. So if you want to get out of it, you can. It's not easy. It's very difficult for most people, because if you've grown up your whole life on a plantation, being taken care of through the auspices of the state under parens patriae, that's the first video, government is father, and you try to return to the status of a natural common law allodial free man, that's going to be very difficult for you. And I mentioned in the last video, the best way to go about this is to follow the advice of the Apostle Paul. He said, "Are you called being a servant? Care not for it. If," and that's a big if you can be free, choose it rather. So find the things that you can change immediately. Get out of those contracts. A very easy one is like voter registration. Stop voting. That provides evidence that you are participating in the corporation as a member. Only members get to vote. And that binds you to the corporate body. So that's a very easy one to stop doing. You can legally send a letter and have them expunge those voter registration records and stop voting. Voting is an ardent prayer to your master of what you want through the corporate body. You're praying to a father by voting. Call no man father upon the earth. Return to the natural common law. Return to the law of God, the state of nature, and that's where you are a free man. Thanks for watching. I hope you continue to watch the rest of this video series and playlist as I post up videos. Please subscribe and like the videos, and click that bell to get notifications of when I upload a new video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.